All right, welcome everyone to the breakdown here for the MVPS Summer Rumble. Appreciate the MVPS for having me on to do this breakdown, so appreciate that. Want to give a shout out as well. Or actually, before we do that, just as a refresher, if you haven't checked out the center and Dorito side breakdowns, you need to go ahead and do that, so that way you get a full view of the field. You can see there's a lot of craziness here. This one's going to be going over the snake side. Before we jump into that, though, again, shout out to Dirty Dan, GI, Thunder Valley, Die, DLX, and Maxed. So all the sponsors for the league there. So appreciate them in the support there for the MVPS. And yeah, let's get into this. So just so we are all on the same page, what we are considering the snake side, we're going to consider everything from there over. All right, and then for the Dorito side, it's going to be everything from there over. And then when we talk about the middle, whoops, get there and there. That's going to be everything in there. Now, there might be some overlap that happens, like you probably already saw if you haven't gone over to the other ones. But let's dive into this. So first and foremost, it's always good to see who is it that shoots you off the break, because it doesn't matter if you can get somewhere and shoot 109 people if you're dead 3 steps off the box. So looking here, you can see that there is a lot of lane blockers. There's going to be a lot of, I think, some big bites on this layout. So let's just go up a little bit here and just look again from this angle. Now remember, we're going to look at some of these other ones, but remember, we're not looking at this Aztec. That's going to be in our middle breakdown, so it'd be from everything over. So you can see there, though, that someone could actually float right here and shoot right into that gap. So someone that is trying to make it out, I think the big thing is going to be just the different routes that you're able to take out here. If you are going to be stopping here, that is. So whether it be taking the shallow route, the deep route, delaying and then going up, all of that. There's a lot of craziness going on here. So it's definitely going to be a good one to watch. Let's see. So as we are filling out, let's see who is it that shoots us on the way out. Go back to a normal height. Okay, so the tower could maybe shoot on the cross. I don't know that I'd be so worried about that. I'd probably be more worried about this Aztec shooting right over the top right here. That should be dropping through. If they try to thread the needle, obviously they can shoot through here. If they shoot over the top of this this pin as kind of like a guide, that actually should probably drop about right in this range. So that's going to definitely be an issue for players that are trying to make it out to the corner, which we'll check out and then make our way up into that little brick there. So as we're going up to here, yeah, I feel like if you're going to come out here, you probably are going to have to dive, because even this Aztec is probably going to be able to dive out real quick and then shoot this heads up. So a lot of craziness out here. I think this is definitely going to be an interesting one, to say the least. Let's look inside. Is there anything there? So I don't see a whole lot that you can do from here, at least, to slow down the Dorito side. I mean, yes, you could shoot through these gaps here, but I don't know. I kind of feel like there's a lot of options that they can go through, and that's just not really going to be a huge help. If someone's kind of sleeping in this tower and they forget to stay tucked in, you probably could drop in a blind over the top of that brick there. That being said, they would have the same shot back, so just be careful of that. You don't want it to be that you're getting caught with your pants down on that one. Although looking at the tape, I don't know that I really like this corner to do much, because you can't really stop anything down the snake side. Look at that. Could you use it, though, if we were to dive out and overslide? Ooh, this is where things are going to get interesting for sure. So could you maybe dive out and then come up into here? I think that could be possible, because that shot through here is going to be super difficult for that person to land that. And then it looks like you actually should have some lane blockers for that. And then this little section, I mean, yeah, you can't really shoot through there. So yeah, people oversliding to come around and up could actually, that actually could be an option. Let's look at this little brick though. So coming here, I mean, yeah, they could shoot through into these Doritos over here and kind of slow that down. There's probably going to be people coming up through this middle into these the starfish bunkers there, or the plus signs, whatever you want to call it. I'm just used to calling it starfish now, but you know, people being able to climb, or I mean, to crawl through there is definitely going to be a threat. Let's look as we're coming out. So this Aztec, to shoot at least through here, could be helpful. I have a feeling though this snake side is going to be a war of attrition. I think it's going to be, you send guys in there expecting to go and trade out with other players. Just by all the chaos that's in here, I think it's going to be difficult to protect players that are up there. Is there anything, I know technically that little W is the middle of the field of what we're considering that, but just want to see. I mean, they could shoot that, but I don't know that I would. Well, I guess because they could crawl up. So, yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to be more that Aztec, and the brick is going to have a hard time shooting. Actually, they won't be able to shoot this at all. Yeah, they won't be able to shoot that. All right, let's look up in here. Can they shoot cross? Yeah, this is definitely MVPS is trying to make some big moves here for people. Let's see. So even like this wedge here is not great to stop much, because if I'm shooting at someone here, they can still get low and crawl up and around, and I wouldn't be able to see it until they're basically popping up in my snake. So that's going to be yeah, I don't know about that. Now, this is where that brick could be beneficial, that you'd have to check off for this guy trying to make a move around. Is it that big of a threat, though? Maybe. But if you just take the inside, you actually could probably just crawl and then go up and across if you wanted to. Of course, being careful of these guys over here, but not like that move wouldn't necessarily be there. So yeah, let's go to the outside, and then we'll kind of come in and see here about the other, like the starfish and all that. But first we're going to come into this little W. So we're going to come down to more of a normal height. Okay, so here you can help support Dorito side a little bit again, but I don't know. I feel like you're going to see people coming and like flying through here. I don't know how much coming here is really going to benefit anyone. Let's see though if they can wrap and do some damage. So there's that shot that I was talking about. So you see how the wedge is not able to shoot over the top and it drop in. So you can actually just stay low and crawl up. That being said though, if someone is in this starfish and they're just waiting for you, you're going to get smoked. But could they? I think they'd have an issue with catching you. You know, if you stayed really tight to here, I think you might be able to get underneath it, but that's going to even be kind of sketchy there. All right, let's look and see this. I'm going to call this the 50 snake. I know that there's technically the starfish there. Okay, so some decent inside shots. So this wouldn't be a bad spot to get to. Let's see as you wrap though. Okay, things get interesting once you get here. So you have the brick, you have the tower. You could actually kind of do kind of a blind in that other tower, the back center, the can there. Let's move over to here. You get some more Dorito shots here. I mean, this is where things are going to get real interesting for sure. Man, being able to kind of sneak through. Yeah, this outside snake, it might be important to have someone watching this. Let's see if the starfish is able to do that. Okay, so if we go into here. Okay, so they would be able to see that inside, but I bet you there's a bounce coming off this that can come into here. If someone is posted inside, I bet you this would be able to bounce in from someone. I don't know exactly from who. Let's see if I can, maybe from the back center, might be able to bounce off there. Maybe the Aztec. So Yeah, let's see, is this guy better suited to stay this way? Yeah, so you can see what I mean here. So this guy can post this way, but if they stay super low, I mean, I guess if you knew that they were, if they dove in, couldn't you see it here though? Oh, this is definitely going to be, you might just have to assume if they're here that they're trying to make the move. And then if you see them pop up, if you're already waiting here, then you're going to be able to catch them there. But I guess if they kept going, they could technically keep going. You might not be able to see that outside. Because if you stand up, so the reason why I'm saying that is if you stand up too tall here, over the top, people are going to be able to shoot you. So it's not like you can stand up and shoot down on this particular player in the outside snake. But if they aren't there, let's just say that they aren't there yet. Is this a good bunker to come to? Doesn't really seem like it. This seems like maybe you could use this as a way to sort of like, you could even jump over. Would you have the same shots that we saw from the 50 snake? You probably should. Yeah, this one's not bad either. The only thing I don't like is that you're kind of stuck here. So if you're trying to make the move up into this next area, like you're having to like run at the brick and then just hope that these people aren't here. At least if you're wide, then you'd be able to see that. But I kind of feel like what you're going to see is people, if they do come here, they'll make the jump over, because who can catch you doing this? So the Aztec and the back center probably have to have paint in the air for them to catch you. I think you might be able to hop over and dive over this way. And then it's going to force them to have to try to come wide. So, you know, this could definitely be something that people try. Do they go to the starfish right away? So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of interesting moves here on the snake side. So just the fact that there are, just looking at everything here, like we were seeing earlier, you know, if you're kind of going here or taking the deep route and up, there is that shot that we can see straight through there. Well, that's a really bad line, but from like someone floating in the back center, from this Aztec, looks like they can drop it through here. So the thing you could do is, if whether it be you hug the bunker, or if you take the deeper route and kind of come around and up, you might be able to come right through here. I wonder if someone is going to try to do around and just go straight into here. I would definitely expect people to try to come up and then dive across. I mean, if you've come over from the middle, then you already know that we've talked about this. Same thing on the Dorito side with the move up into here. But I think if we're just, again, we're strictly looking at the snake side. So like I said, there's going to be some overlap. From off the break stuff, it's going to be trying to figure out where to shoot exactly, because if you're shooting here, then it's too shallow to shoot the person running deeper. If you're shooting too high, then someone coming around and up is going to be able to get underneath that. And if they're trying to take the deep route in between and maybe come through here, that's when, you know, this Aztec might be able to see that. But again, go check out the middle breakdown for a full breakdown of what this guy's going to be able to do. Yeah, this snake is interesting, to say the least. I think you're going to see people up in here. This seems to be where you want to get to, is this outside 50 snake. Not that the starfish is bad, it's just that the outside 50 snake, you can wrap and start putting a lot of pressure, crawl through to their side, and as long as someone isn't able to get wide, you can just wrap this and start putting a lot of pressure on that Dorito side. So real solid. But that being said, that is the snake side there. So if you are going to be at the event, good luck. Again, huge shout out to MVPS for having me on board to do this breakdown, and again for Dirty Dan, GI, Thunder Valley, Die, DLX, and Maxed for all their support for the league to help make that happen. So make sure you guys are hydrating too. I mean, it's a summer event, so make sure that you're going to be okay. And yeah, so I will see you in the other breakdowns.